Welcome back to the channel. I'm Amateur the Artist. Now, this is interesting. This is not really like a story, but it's more like a fun thing to analyze. Where this Frank Miller comic book cover variant drop, where the preview drop, where it's Scrooge McDuck for the new #1 from Image. Now, listen, people are like, this is now Frank gone way too far off the deep end, and he just turned it out trash. And I looked at it and I was like, whoa, this is a very interesting Scrooge, right? And I said, let's take it into context. It is Frank. Frank has never been the guy who's drawn things traditionally the way it's supposed to look, which is a testament to him because publishers will tell artists, no, you need to go back. This character needs to look like this. And that's happened. Only top tier artists, very few of them, don't get any notes. A lot of artists do. Even the ones you think might be top tier do get those notes. Now, I went back and I started looking at past Frank's works. Now, listen, that Wolverine cover he did last, granted, that is trash. That is the weirdest cover I've ever seen from Frank. It almost seems like Frank was trying to reinvent Frank in Frank and went too much Frank. And it's like when you double an image on each other, and that's what came out. It was so much Frank that it just didn't look right. I hope you understand what I'm saying. But when I went back to look at the Daredevil run and the Dark Knight and even when he first did some covers and some interior for Wolverine, those were more old school style. When he found his line, which is the lines that he likes to use now, he turned into Frank Miller, right? And that's the Frank Miller you see now in the Dark Knight and in Daredevil and so forth, in Sin City. It's not too far from what he did for Scrooge. Really, it isn't. It's actually in that wheelhouse. It's almost as if if that 80s Frank would have done that Scrooge cover then, it would probably look like that one that he did now. It's more like him taking a step back. It's almost regular Frank. Is it still like cranberry juice where you need to grow a taste for it? Yeah, it is. That's Frank. It's not for everybody. So that Sin City, we all think of Frank as those covers for the Dark Knight, epic covers. He has a great sense of like movement, anatomy, pace. It works. But his work is really simplistic. Even if you look back then, it wasn't a lot of detail. It was like he got the figure down and the lines he likes, and then that was pretty much it, and he moved on. Sin City, that line work that he kind of figured out works the best for the style he chose for Sin City, which is that black and white out, blotting out, negative spacing. That's Frank's best work because his lines work excellent in that medium, in that style, and it allowed him to make amazing just works that made you just look at it and go, wow, like that's different. But you still knew it was Frank, but that's what we in our heads we see. So now when we don't see him for a long time and then he comes back and he does that Wolverine, we're like, bro, that was wow, Frank. Like, maybe he's trying to like he just got too into himself. Like I said, a Frank within the Frank within the Frank, and that's what we got. But I think he took a step back and just did Frank Miller, and that's the Scrooge we got. So I don't think in this particular case with this cover, Frank deserves all that criticism where it's trash. I think that's actually the closest Frank we've ever gotten in a long time. Whether that's for you, for me, that's up to me and you and the audience in the wallets to speak for. But I think it's really just a normal Frank cover. I I'm it's growing on me actually. So will I get it? I don't think I will because it's just Frank has never been my guy, my artist, the artist that I sought out for the visuals, except for Sin City and a couple of panels inside that were iconic inside the Dark Knight. Other than that, that's Frank. So I mean, you don't have to buy it, right? But anyway, let me know in the comments down below. Do you think this is back to Frank the way he's supposed to look like, or he's still a Frank Miller within a Frank Miller within a Frank Miller pumping out these covers and it's just too much of his own style within the piece, and it's just wacky. Let me know in the comments down below. See you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.